Stocks continued with the rally and have powered to new all-time highs. However, we'll look at high-yield bonds, which could be signaling that there's a pullback that's coming. We'll revisit a Netflix trade, which is now up over 95% since the last alert. Also, very interesting activity in a company called Bright Minds Biosciences that I wasn't aware of until very recently, when it went up 3,200% in a couple of days, because there is a chance that they have found a new molecule similar to psychedelic, I believe psilocybin from mushrooms, but I believe with no or very little psychedelic activity, which is a replacement for morphine, a pain reliever commonly used. So this is a very big news, and we will see if this is a market manipulation or if this is for real. We'll also look at euro, which is at critical support versus the dollar. However, gold is ignoring the dollar strength and continued to new all-time highs. All this and more in today's edition of MasterChartsTrading.com for market recap for Friday, October 18th, 2024. Please don't forget to hit the like button, make a comment, subscribe to this channel, share this video, or ask any questions that you like. If you are a subscriber, stay tuned. We have various securities that we'll cover on members-only video, ETFs, large cap stocks, speculative securities, including Bright Minds Biosciences, Cloudflare, Peloton, as well as some of the other smaller companies. Gold and silver related stocks are also going to be covered in the members only section. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider signing up by going to the link in the description. Throughout the presentation, I'll be using my proprietary MasterChartsTrading.com indicators, trading indicators, which you can see on this chart, this green, blue, red, and yellow lines, which you can have on your chart. Just follow the link in the description. S&P 500 has closed at all-time highs. This continues the short squeeze that I have mentioned from last week. So notice this gap up between 18th and the 19th of September, when stocks gapped to new records, and notice that we basically have been making higher highs and squeezing out those short positions that placed their stops above the previous records that were set in July of this year. So for now, no changes there. We're continuously monitoring the positions, but we are trading them only on the upside. We are not contemplating any short positions at this point. The only thing that I'm slightly concerned about is the high yield bonds. So this is high yield bonds, the junk debt. There's the gap up between the 18th and 19th of September where I'm hovering. But since then we didn't make new records. So whereas S&P continued to make new highs, junk debt have not. So this is a small bearish divergence. But we don't yet exactly know if it's going to be a meaningful indicator of a pullback that could be coming. For now, we're just going to take things at face value, which is S&P 500 at new records, implies strength, bullish behavior for the market, and we're going to continue buying various securities which I have highlighted in the introduction. I wanted to revisit a trade for Netflix, so I have probably revisited it several times already, but let's just look at it from a daily perspective, meaning that each candlestick is a day's worth of activity. So back in the January of 2023, so over a year and a half ago, there is a breakout above this blue support resistance line, and you can see it's very obvious. I don't need to double guess if this is indeed a breakout. Yes, it indeed occurred right there on the 23rd of January. I can see it on the chart. This means that we are now in an uptrend and we want to be buying. And there was a wonderful opportunity to buy in March of 2023, and then another opportunity to buy around October of 2023, so about a year ago. Notice that what happened is we're buying around the blue support resistance line following a pullback. So notice this initial surge between the March of 23 and the July of 23, followed by a pullback into October, and then I actually sent an alert out. So I sent out 2 alerts in October of 2023. So notice what happened afterwards. Netflix went on a tear and continued gaining. And notice also that this blue support resistance line where I'm hovering was not touched since the entry sent on 2023 October, meaning that what we normally do is we put our stop at this blue support resistance line and we just trail it higher as the price goes higher. And notice that it has not been hit, so technically speaking this position should be still open, and it is currently up over 96%, I believe. So yeah, so that's when the position was opened from October 23 until now, over 95% gain in this position. And notice today it gapped to new all-time highs, new records on earnings, which were quite positive. We can also look at the same chart on the weekly time frame, so meaning each candlestick is a week's worth of activity. So if you're trading on weekly time frame, it would mean, or rather, you would need to change my indicator settings to 52. So very easy to do that. You can just change it right on your chart on TradingView.com. Again, if you don't have my indicators, just open a free TradingView account and then go to Master Charts Trading to sign up for my indicators. But here it is on the weekly time frame, and weekly just means that you are a very long-term kind of trader and you don't really care about daily fluctuations. So whatever happens on during the day, you don't I mean, you kind of care, but you don't really care that much, and you only act on Fridays or the last day of the week for trading. So you do nothing, and only on Friday, like the fat cat you are, you just buy it or sell it on a Friday. And actually this would have worked perfectly for you. So let's just pretend that you bought it on a Friday, the 2nd of October here in 2023, so a year ago, or on the 23rd of October where I'm hovering, 2023, and you did nothing. You just sat in a position and you advanced your stop continuously by the blue line. You are up 95%. If you had options, and I actually quite often talk about options, so for example, if you would have traded, if I was to trade this Netflix back in 2023 with options, I would have bought what's called leap options. So they're at least a year out. And this 95% gain for a leap option, well, let's say it's 2 years out. So it's like October 2025 expiration date. I mean, 90% gain probably would translate to like 1,000% gain for an option. So they moved quite a bit. So again, big congratulations. If you still have Netflix open, I would continue holding that position. Okay, and now we're looking at a company called Bright Minds Biosciences. Until very recently, I had no idea it existed. However, I do monitor this ETF, ticker symbol PSIL, short for psilocybin, the forbidden fruit, the mushrooms that are still illegal in the United States. However, they are becoming more and more legal in places. And this ETF holds various psychedelic related companies. Now, until recently, this Bright Minds Biosciences was a smaller holding of this ETF called PSIL. However, you can see that on 15th of October, all of a sudden, this ETF became heavily weighted towards this company called Bright Minds Biosciences. And there's a good reason for that. It's because on that date, we're going to zoom in, there's the 15th of October, and there's the move up for this stock, which was insane. Absolutely. It's 1,500% in just one day. But as high as it went to 3,200%. So it went from about $2 to about $76. All right. And all of this because I actually went and I read some of the information. It shows that it shows similar efficacy to morphine in preclinical pain models, and this is a compound that, what I understand, is similar to psychedelics, so such as psychedelic mushrooms, psilocybin, the active ingredient of the psychedelic mushrooms. It has a strong affinity for the receptors that produce hallucinations in humans. In a mice model, this particular medication, I don't know if it has psychedelic properties. If we go to their website, we can kind of see that she is clearly tripping with something of a notion in her head. But that's Bright Minds Biosciences, so that's their pipeline, BMB 202, and you can see that it's more potent than psilocin, which is psilocybin. Now, I don't know exactly about the kinetics, and I don't exactly know if it will produce visions in humans. However, the fact that we have a company that's working in that direction and is using it to treat, not even a psychiatric condition, but basically a pain condition, is a very exciting news. If indeed this is correct, and it went from $2 to $70, and it looks like it is correct. However, I have been reading that there is some potential manipulation because of just the way this unfolded. There could have been insider trading, so we will see about it. At this point, I don't know. However, this is extremely exciting news. I'm very interested in psychedelic research, and the fact again that it is similar in efficacy to morphine is indeed enormous, great news, because as you know, we have an opioid epidemic in America and world at large, and morphine is an opioid. Clearly things like fentanyl are opioids. So if we're going to have some sort of a substance which is not an opioid, and it also does not have psychedelic visions as a side effect, that would be just huge, because it's an entirely different mechanism of action than opioid receptors. So it's just something that I'd like to kind of put out there. We did not trade this one because it wasn't even on my radar, so I'm just gonna try to zoom in a little more, but you can see how it just went from, it actually was $1 on the 11th of October. Between 11th of October and 14th of October, there was it more than doubled, and then the next day it just skyrocketed by, it went from $2 to $38. Okay, so this is a very interesting, a very truly exciting time. If this is true, once again, it will be a very good thing for humanity at large. Again, that's all I wanted to say about this company. Let's switch gears. We're currently looking at current currency pair, euro versus US dollar. So euro on top, US dollar on the bottom. So notice that euro has been, this currency pair has been dropping like a stone since it peaked here on 25th of September in favor of US dollar. euro divided by US dollar, so the bottom part of this equation, it continued to deteriorate until recently, and notice what happened. It landed exactly on my red support resistance line. Again, I'm not making that up. These lines are mathematically calculated. So yesterday we did not close below it. On 17th of October we went through, but we didn't actually close below it, and today we rallied right off of it, and so far we have not entered a new bear market for this currency pair, meaning that so far euro is still in an uptrend, and if we're going to see another close above this blue line within the next few days, then we should be buying the euro and selling the dollar. So having said that, there is the dollar currency index. Notice that it's like over 50% euro, so you can see that a big move here from the bottom around 27th and 30th of September. The dollar held whatever support was there and rallied strongly. So far there was no sell signal. We're anticipating, basically we're just waiting for what's going to happen with euro. If euro rallies from here, then dollar will depreciate. Now, as I continuously keep saying, dollar and gold have normally a negative relationship. So in other words, dollar goes up, gold goes down. However, lately gold has been doing whatever the hell it wants. Notice that gold, this is gold, just keeps going higher. Last opportunity, an actual alert back here in December of last year. Another opportunity to buy in February of this year, and then it just took off. The last few weeks, so let's just say that from September 27th, when dollar started to gain, notice what happened to gold from September 27th. It corrected very slightly and then just turned around and made new records. So even though we're looking at this currency pair, technically speaking, gold divided by US dollar, the strength of US dollar, or the US dollar, the bottom part of this equation getting bigger, had no effect whatsoever on the price of gold. Okay, so as of right this instant, it feels like gold and dollar are just doing their own thing. Okay, so is it possible from like a fundamental perspective, or from geopolitical perspective, for both dollar and gold to be moving up? And I think it does make sense because basically gold is a safe haven asset, and so is the dollar. Because what are you gonna buy? I mean, what other currency is there besides euro and Japanese yen and British pound, maybe like some of the European currencies, but the hard currency is still the dollar, and it's not like some Chinese yuan or rupees from India, or God forbid the rubles from fascist Russia. So we're still looking at dollar as the dominant currency of the world. And so, yeah, it makes sense for people to want to own the dollar, but at the same time, they want to own the gold. Okay, so for now, we're going to be treating them sort of as a separate entities. And basically, that's it for this week's recap. Please let me know what you think about today's presentation. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider signing up by going to MasterChartsTrading.com. I have 2 products and a bundle. I think the best deal is to get the bundle, of course. So trading indicators, these lines on the chart, you can trade pretty much anything you like on most time frames, including 1 minute or 1 second even, if you like. They're available for TradingView.com. So if you have TradingView account, or you can get a free TradingView account once you sign up on TradingView, go to MasterChartsTrading.com, sign up on my site, and I will open the door for you so you can have the same lines, same indicators on your chart. Newsletters. So if you wanted to just get my alerts, I send out daily alerts, as well as send out a weekly members only video. So notice this week we'll be covering various ETFs, foreign ETFs like China, South Korea, large cap stocks such as Tesla or Chevron, as well as quite a bit of various small caps and I call them speculative securities. And we're talking about like Bit Digital, Bright Minds Bio, Nextdoor Holdings, Cloudflare, Sabre, several smallish, or Peloton, smallish securities which are not really as big, but the breakout patterns are looming, so we're looking to trade them as a breakout. And the same goes for various gold related, which have been on a tear as well. I do personally own gold related securities such as Royal Gold. That's it for this week's recap. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching and have another great trading week. Bye bye.